Alright, what's good, guys? It's BGFX here. Let me get this to focus real quick. Just want to show y'all what I caught for the day. We got GBPJPY for about 90 plus pips. I entered one large position at the top of the trend reversal, and then I scaled in with a second position. So overall for the day, clocked out with a little over 11,000. If we look at Euro USD, we actually had a limit order set on that, and we took a small loss there. But right now we're in UCAD as well, and things aren't looking too bad on that pair. We're in a decent, like a real small amount of profits, but overall things are looking real good. Let me just show y'all on the screen real quick. We got UCAD moving up a little bit, and then we have GJ that pretty much tanked to our take profits. Overall things are looking pretty nice. Let me get this focus and show y'all it is a real account as usual. Okay. What is good, guys? Salute to all y'all who are watching. It's been a little minute since I posted a video here on YouTube, but today what I'm gonna be diving into is a trade I actually took on my favorite Forex pair to trade, and that is GBPJPY. So I took this trade at the beginning of the week. Today's currently Thursday. I didn't take any trades today. Since this trade actually allowed me to hit my goal for the week of 5%. So overall, very nice setup that we took here on GBPJPY. I'm going to be taking this video and fully walking you guys through the entire process of how I entered it, what made me enter, you know, all those different things that triggered me into this trade. So I'm going to be talking about a few different things that a lot of people don't really talk about when it comes to trading. I'm going to be talking about volume. I'm going to be talking about VWAP, which is volume weighted average price, as well as a few other things such as manipulation, market flow, market depth, and things like that, so we can outthink this retail trader standpoint and start trading like an institution. Okay, so go ahead, dive into this video. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure to leave a like on the video as well as subscribe if you do enjoy the content, because I have a lot of new things coming soon on this channel. So I hope you guys learned something new from this. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. What's going on, guys? We're back on the charts right now, and I want to talk about this trade right here on GBPJPY. So overall, you can see that this was a 1 to 5 trade. So if you were risking about 2% of your account, you could have anticipated nearly 10% back. Okay, now I didn't risk a full 2% on this trade. If I would, it would have been very nice. Unfortunately I did, but it was still a very profitable and an extremely nice and very accurate trade. So I have GBPJPY on the 15 minute. Okay, and what we notice here is that GJ for the most part was showing us some downward movement. Okay, for the most part it was showing us some downward movement until we do see a major pullback. Now when we look at this major pullback, we see that price initially is going to pull back to this level, and if you take a closer look, price rejects off of this. So what that's telling me is that a lot of retail sellers actually got into the market. So anyone who, you know, is trading trend lines and breaks and retests, they're going to be selling a lot right here. So that's going to bring some traders into the markets, and then we see a major spike above. Okay, and we'll notice that we have this level that is then broken. Okay, this level is broken, and what that's telling me is that potentially we can see some people wanting to buy this market as well. And you'll notice that around this area by this wick, most likely a lot of buyers were put into the markets around that time. Now what we realize is that price ends up breaking, and we see a struggle for this to maintain. Okay, we see a struggle for this to maintain, and overall buyers couldn't really control the markets. We noticed that these levels, they were broken and retested, but everything pretty much struggled to actually hold up. So what I want to do is I wanted to pinpoint, okay, where's my low going to be? So I drew this low out, and we noticed one thing happened. Okay, we noticed that price dipped below our area. So what happened here is that price broke out, retested, and we failed to see any type of rejection showing a continuation down for, you know, a continuation of a downward trend. And what I noticed is that price began to move upward with buyers in control, and we realized that inside of this ascending zone we had a lot of movement. If we're looking at our VWAP, okay, VWAP is going to stand for volume weighted average price. So at the bottom of our charts we have volume. The VWAP is going to be It looks similar to a moving average, but it doesn't work the same as a moving average. Okay, moving averages are going to have 200, 300 EMAs, 150 EMAs, 100 EMA, 20 EMA, 10 EMA. The VWAP is going to be one single tool, so there's going to be not much variation of it. Okay, and that's what I like about it. So it's not really like a journey of trying to see which VWAP works the best for you. It's literally going to be your volume weighted average price. So it's going to take the average price during that time, combine it with the volume of the markets, and it'll actually give you an insight of everything. So if we notice here, we had a real strong crash in volume and price began to break below. So at this point, I really didn't want to look to enter this trade. We see price breaks out above and tests this level next. Okay, once I see price break this level, rejects, and we see that around here our VWAP really moves up in the price. This is showing us that buyers are in control of the markets. So what I want to do is, being that this long-term move, the market has been down, I wanted to see something take place in terms of actually looking to sell this market once I did see some confirmation. So what we'll notice here is that this zone from previously was broken out and retested. So what this did is, most retail traders who trade with the trend definitely look to buy at this point. Okay, we see that price breaks out, shows momentum, pulls back. If they didn't enter on this pullback, most likely they did enter on the second pullback, because this was an ascending trend line combined with previous resistance that should be supposedly turned into support. So I want to show you guys the concept of this and why it's important to quit focusing on all of this inside noise here in the middle and start focusing on what happens right here and right here, because this will literally tell you what is going on in the markets if you let it. Okay, because a lot of accumulation happens during this time, and once you guys understand that a lot of orders are gathered before the long-term trend actually happens. So if we look at our information, this is a double top. This is showing that price is struggling to break this area. Most retail traders would have probably entered for a continuation of that trend to catch levels like this, okay, because it looks like previous structure was broken, when in reality there wasn't much previous structure that was actually being made here. So we'll notice another thing happens, and I want to point this out as well, because it's another where you can kind of outthink some of this institutional things that goes on. So we notice we have a left shoulder, we have a head, and then what do we have? We have like a right shoulder type of thing. And we'll notice that after that happened, most likely a lot of traders entered for a sell here as well. Okay, retail traders. You got to know that the big players of the markets understand these retail trading methods. So if you're looking at just a right shoulder forming, typically I won't enter on that. I like to see deeper pullbacks before I enter my trades. So what I did actually is I drew my Fibonacci from the top to the bottom. And what this fib allowed me to do is it allowed me to actually pinpoint an entry systematically. So it wasn't a matter of me looking at the charts and thinking, okay, when should I enter? I don't want my emotions to get the best of me. No, I literally just drew my Fibonacci and I said, okay, if price comes up to here, I believe it will. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to enter for a sell. So what we notice happens around this area is that this was accumulation of sellers into the markets. This was accumulation of buyers into the market. So you realize how sellers were accumulated first. They were stopped out from this upward move, and then buyers were accumulated and they were stopped out for the downward move. So instead of you trying to catch what movement price is going in, you just want to realize what the market is actually doing. Why did it break this low right here? Okay, why did it break this high right here? It broke the low, continued up. Now it broke the high. Do you think it's going to continue up, or do you think it's going to continue back to the downside? So for me, seeing that price rejected twice off of this previous area, and then if we go back to the 1 hour time frame, the 1 hour time frame is going to show us that overall price is moving down, and these levels of structure about right here would be the potential area we want to catch price to, because there wasn't much going on in terms of what we were seeing around this area. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to wait price to break above after this accumulation was finished. Okay, because a lot of times this accumulation in the market will be driving the opposite direction after. So price will accumulate a lot of sellers, then it will push price up. Okay, this is how they make money. Institutions, large banks, funds, they're able to move the markets. Okay, Now, I'm not saying indicators are bad or anything like that when it comes to you doing your analysis. I do a mixture of both. I like to use indicators. Obviously, I use Fibonacci, moving averages, Bollinger Bands, all these different things. But at the same time, I also need to keep an eye on who is actually driving the markets. So you realize that when you're buying the trend line, man, this will be small movements, okay, with movements, and it's very choppy. And I've realized that I no longer really into the markets when things like this are happening as much. I'm typically, however you want to call it, I'm catching the tops and the bottoms, because those are where the long-term and strong moves happen, okay? Those are where price, this is actually where price is driven with a purpose. So we realize right here, if we would have entered, price literally came down. Let's see how many pips that was, 350 plus pips, and this could have been a 1 to 14 trade, which is crazy, okay? And I want you guys to understand that you got to block out all this outside noise here, because this tends to mess with your trading style. You just need to realize what's happening, how the market is setting things up, okay? Because there's going to be accumulation. Price broke the low, price broke the high. That accumulated both type of orders, okay? This accumulated buyers. If you look right here, this area accumulated sellers. So all in all, we faked price down a little bit. We came price all the way up. So anyone who sold here or stopped out up here, and anyone who bought around this area was stopped out right here. So there's a lot of accumulation in these markets in terms of what retail traders do, and a lot of capital is usually brought in during these times. So that is before the move take place, okay? Once the capital is taken out of the market by stop losses being hit, okay, you realize that we had a push down here, also a push up to here, okay? So anyone who was in this market got stopped out, except for the ones who were patient enough to enter right here, who understood what was really going on. And then we seen that we had a very very strong move down. So in all of these trend lines and stuff like that, overall you notice that the best move is happening once you pinpoint where the reversal can potentially be taking place. And that's why I trade reversal so much, and I'm never taking trades blindly, because I realize that identifying market structure is the best that works for me, okay? Now I've come to realize, obviously, that every trader has a different personality. Things work best for other people, okay? So I'll never judge a trader and say you're not profitable because you only use technicals, or you're not profitable because you only do this. The only thing I can do is say that this has worked for me, okay? This has worked for me. It's what my personality is suited to. I like trading differently than 90% of other people, okay? I like taking the opposite sides of other trades. That's usually the way I like to do that. So trading is really a game about finding out what works for you and really adapting to the best possible approach that you can take, because like I said, everybody is different, okay? Overall, guys, hope y'all enjoyed this video. This was GBPJPY. This could have potentially been 350 pips. I entered, let me go ahead and move this back real quick. I entered 1 to 786 with literally less than a pip of drawdown, and then I hopped out around this area with about like 88 or 90 pips or something like that, 89, 90 pips. But overall, if I would have been holding, you can see that this is where the major move would have took place. Understand volume, understand VWAP, understand how the market actually moves before you even attempt to draw a trend line on a chart. Figure out what drives the market to certain places, and figure out what accumulation does to the markets. When market accumulates capital, figure out what it does after. Does it reverse? Does it continue up? Most of the time, it's going to go in the opposite direction of your acquired accumulation. So if we see buyers potentially coming in more than the sellers, then we would be pushing price in the opposite direction, okay? We want to get in on these long-term moves, okay? You want to get in on the moves like this, okay? This is where you exponentially grow your account. I'm not saying you don't want to get in on the moves like this, okay? That'll work, but for me, I've realized that the best possible thing was catching these major reactions to these key levels with extra confirmation. So that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. It has been your boy BGFX. This was GBPJPY trade analysis. I'll catch you guys later.